The first thing that I wanted to ask you all is, you're all into the journey of pathways, correct? And all of you have taken some path. Like, if I can ask Toastmaster Shalini, what is a path that she has chosen?
Actually, yet to discover this. This
Yet to
will be
discover.
very, very useful for me
Okay,
to know the different paths and from you.
okay. What about Toastmaster Sanket?
Still yet to discover, Shalini. I have got recommendations that one is, I think, humorous and presentation mastery. I got recommended from that test, but still, I want to know more.
Okay. What about Amit? Even Toastmasters from Tech Mahindra can share their views. Manjushri. Okay.
Yeah, I have selected dynamic leadership. I'm in the pathway of dynamic leadership level 2.
This is your first path?
Yes, this is my first path. So I've
Okay.
been a Toastmaster since over 6-7 months.
6-7 months. Okay, great, great. Very nice. Sudesh has written persuasive influence he's chosen. Okay, welcome, Sharavanan. Nice to have you. So we will have the session for 35 to 40 minutes. Then you can ask questions and I'll be able to answer them. So today's session is all about guidance, or you could say guidelines to choose paths. Okay. First of all, the entire, if you could say, the online curriculum is called as pathways. Usually, when you attend a Toastmasters club, people make this mistake of saying that the pathway I have chosen is dynamic leadership. Pathways is the whole thing, which includes the 6 paths, which includes the Pathways Mentor Program, which includes the DTM project. All that together is pathways. It's like the whole picture is called pathways. Paths are, there are 6 paths in the Toastmasters International. Earlier, we used to have 11 paths. When I joined Toastmasters 4.5 years back, it was 11 paths. Now they have made it 6 because some paths were repetitive and some paths, they had, the same kind of project. So they have brought it down and made it more concise and crisp and more effective when it has become 6 paths. Now, whichever path you have chosen, there are basically 6 paths, which is the first path which people usually like to take up is presentation mastery. Supposing you don't come from a speaking background at all, in the sense your job doesn't involve much of speaking or something, the best way to get started is presentation mastery because it works on all your presentation skills. Then you have other paths like engaging humor. Nowadays, if you see, even like BTM comes under District 121. I'm sure Tech Mahindra is also part of District 121. So all the districts are reviving certain contests. One of the contests that has come back after 8 years is the humorous speech contest, which is called as the HSC. Okay, and engaging humor is a path. If you do that, it actually adds a lot of value to preparing well for the HSC. Basically, it is to bring the humor element in us. This time, for the first time, even I am braving to do the HSC. Then you have this path called visionary communication, which is a little higher end path where the communication happens at a visionary level, in the sense at a more matured level of understanding, where you would have achieved the normal basic elements of communication through other paths, and you can go to the advanced, the elevated level of communication, which is the visionary communication, where people who do big projects and they talk to big clients, big customers, how do they vision that out? How do they envision what is the communication that they do with people? That path is all about that. Then you have, of course, dynamic leadership. This is the path which everybody loves. Okay. And I have seen so many Toastmasters, even when they are very new in their profession, they want to take up dynamic leadership. But one thing I will tell you, if you are into Toastmasters and over a period of time, you also take leadership roles in Toastmasters, after a couple of leadership roles, even if you have taken the leadership roles in your club XCOM team, dynamic leadership is a very good part to do because it teaches you everything in and out of how to be a very dynamic leader. So you have presentation mastery, you have engaging humor, you have visionary communication, you have dynamic leadership. The other 2 paths are, one is motivational strategies. So typically I have seen what people do is, once they finish motivational strategies, they take up visionary communication, because motivational strategies, as the name suggests, it is to have strategies that motivate people to do better at their workplace. So Toastmasters basically enables all of us to do much better in our workplaces. So there is a very beautiful saying. It says, whatever you learn in Toastmasters, you actually implement it outside Toastmasters. Okay. And motivational strategies is one path like that, to motivate your team, to motivate people around you, to help your own colleagues and folks how they can do better. This path is very useful. And the last one is persuasive influence, which I have done. And that is the real the power of negotiation you learn from this path. How you persuade, how you convince the other person, and how you make it and see that it's not about I win, you lose. It is because it is how to create a win-win situation for everybody is the path persuasive influence. Now, currently, I am in the path which is motivational strategies. And today, what I'm going to do is this is a problem which many people have come and told me that we don't know how to select our speeches. What is it that we can do with the project guidelines that have been given to us? So I'm going to share my screen and okay, I think Abhijit has to give me the access to share screen.
Yeah, click on allow. So you
Yes.
should.
Yeah. Thank you. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Can you see? So
Um,
typically, all of you know, this is more for Shalini and Sanket who have not yet started exploring anything. Other people are in some level, like I know Sudesh has finished level 3, Pragyan has finished almost level 2, Abhijit is almost completed level 3. So you all know that how you have to progress from level to level. Typically, when you type in your email ID and your password, this is the first page you get to see, which is your own portal page. And here, the first path is usually free. When you get this icon choose path, you actually choose path. The $20 is from the second path onwards. Always the first path is free. This is what is the most important, which is go to Basecamp. Now, you'll have to little bit bear with me because my internet is a little slow. When you go to Basecamp, you will get to see the different levels of a particular path that you are doing. Currently, I am doing the path which is motivational strategies, and I have done some paths before. So I can show you this. So when you go here, you can see that, okay, these are what I completed. I will go to motivational strategies. Just a minute. It's taking a little time. So I thought the best way to showcase to you is so that it gives you a very comprehensive picture on how you can choose your speeches for giving your projects in your club. Now, one thing which is very interesting in Toastmasters is you need not always go on a linear path, like one project after the other, one project after the other, you need not complete. For example, now I have done 2 speeches in level 1. But in the milestone meeting, what happened for me was in BTM, I was the panel moderator. Now, if I go to my level 5, I will be able to see that. When I go to level 5, I will be able to see, when I come to that, I will explain, moderate a panel discussion. So I can put a tick box there and keep it. When I complete that level, I can submit the entire completion. So level 1 is basically typically the level 1 has got 4 speeches, which is if you see this overview, the first thing in the overview you see is how many projects you have in a particular level. This you'll have to bear with me because so level 1 has got mastering fundamentals, which is the fundamentals of any speech that you get better at. The first is the icebreaker speech. So can anybody tell me what is the icebreaker speech if you have done that already? I'll start with Toastmaster Abhijit.
Yeah, icebreaker is where you get an opportunity to explain yourself, who you are to the club from a past, present, and future point of view. So it's basically the starter project, which is not more on you need to follow more of the guidelines. It's more on you being comfortable getting on the stage.
Yes. So
But I want to understand how in the second pathway it works, how it is different. That is where.
okay. So icebreaker is about now if you okay, before that, thanks for the wonderful question, Toastmaster Abhijit. If you can see here, people, it says 1 of 14. Okay, so this 1 of 14 is there are 14 web pages only, which is the icebreaker curriculum. There are 14 web pages, which is the icebreaker curriculum, which will have the introduction and assignment, learning the icebreaker speech. There are a lot in this. Your goals, your how will you prepare and present. There is a video. Then you have to understand how the Toastmasters evaluation for icebreaker speech will be. You have to review and apply. So this entire thing, this entire 14 pages. Now I'm not going into the detail of each and every page. First of all, I don't know why the net is slow. Second thing is, once you go one by one, you'll be able to understand. Like, for example, if I have to show you just these are the project resources. So my recommendation to all of you, whenever you give a speech, you are supposed to read all the 14 pages. You're supposed to read the whole thing, check the project checklist, what is given in the project checklist, what does this particular speech ask you to do, get the evaluation resource. First, the speaker himself or herself should read the evaluation resource before giving it to the evaluator. Print the icebreaker project means get ready with the icebreaker project, and then you have an icebreaker outlined worksheet. Each of this, when you go through one by one, you will get a very fair idea of how to do the icebreaker speech. For the first path that you take, I recommend everybody to go through each and every project in detail. Because the 14 pages, if you don't read and if you just skip and go, you won't understand the thing. Now, the first time anybody gives an icebreaker speech, that person is new to the club. Like, for example, Toastmaster Shalini is preparing for her icebreaker speech. Whatever she is going to share with us, the audience, is going to be totally new. We do not know anything about her. Now, Toastmaster Abhijit asked a very good question. He asked that there are 6 parts, which means 6 times I have to do the icebreaker speech, correct? Because every part starts with the icebreaker speech. So how you can make your icebreaker speeches very, very interesting is, this is a trick which I learned on my own. Every icebreaker speech, don't give all the details about yourself. Keep one element of your professional life, one element of your personal life, one element of your other circle, other areas that you want to touch upon. Bifurcate that into 6. For example, in the first icebreaker speech, you say, I am from Bengaluru. Okay, you have already revealed the place that you come from. The basic facts you can keep, like you have, probably 2 siblings, your parents, you're a boy from Bengaluru and you've studied here. Basic facts you can keep the same. But every icebreaker speech, add something new about yourself. It's like a new personality you're giving to yourself. So it could be a new skill that you have learned. It could be a new adventure that you have done. It could be something, a new unique quality about you. So every icebreaker speech, bring out something which, that is, there is this saying in English, right? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Exactly the same thing. Don't put all your ideas into one icebreaker speech and say that I want to give everything in one icebreaker speech. Bifurcate the icebreaker into 6. Think like this. You have to do 6 parts. All of us have to do 6 parts, which means 6 icebreaker speeches. Now, in the 6 icebreaker speeches, 6 icebreakers have to be very different. So how will you make the difference? One time you can start with a quote. Another time you can start with a question. Third time you can start with a story. Fourth time you can start with a phrase or a movie dialogue or something. Fifth time you can start with, say, anything to do with sports, Formula 1, cricket, football. Sixth time you can start with, some experiment that happened in your life. You can think of 6 different beginnings. In the 6 different icebreakers, if you have, say, a lot of things to speak about yourself, why you have to give all that in just 4 to 6 minutes? Icebreaker timing is 4 to 6 minutes. Bifurcate them into 6. Put them all in different brackets. Okay, for this particular, depending on the path. For example, if it is motivational strategies and you have something very interesting to share with relation to this particular path, take that. Supposing it is persuasive influence, if you have done something in your life where you have convinced someone to take up a good decision, that you add in that icebreaker. So every icebreaker speech brings something unique about you. The mistake which we all do as Toastmasters is, even I have done that mistake. My first path, my icebreaker was 10 minutes and then the mentor gave me a stare. He said, what is this? You're supposed to speak for 4 to 6 minutes and you're speaking for 10 minutes. Okay, I was so, overwhelmed with joy that I started singing. And then he said, who asked you to sing and dance and all that? Happens. All of us do mistakes. Okay, my first icebreaker was straight away disqualification. Even imagine first speech disqualified because it was 10 minutes. Okay, and then he said, you've gone too much into yourself. Keep it to 4 to 6 minutes only. So think like this, my dear friends. Don't put all your life's very interesting experiences as only one icebreaker. You have 6 to do. So bifurcate. Now only you start thinking, if there are 6 different parts, what is the icebreaker speech I want to give when I'm doing persuasive influence? Or what is the icebreaker I want to do when I'm doing dynamic leadership? So think like that to answer Toastmaster Abhijit's question. Because I have done this mistake, I'm telling you out of experience that you can avoid doing these mistakes. So keep 6 different, exciting, enriching, interesting elements of your life for 6 different icebreakers. And every icebreaker speech, the thing is, what we try to do is we give all information, like the place I come from, my family, my friends, everything. Time given is only 4 to 6 minutes. Choose what is it that you want to give back to the audience. Do you want to talk about your family, siblings? And it's not like a mandatory rule that you have to give all the details in all the icebreaker. Okay. For example, earlier it was 11 parts. Thank God now it has become 6. 11 times if the person is giving the same icebreaker, how boring it is for the audience. So you choose. In one icebreaker speech, you can talk about what relation you have with your siblings. Okay. For me, my mom is my best friend. So I like to go out with her. Every time we go out, it's my mom, preferably my mom who wants to come with me. Think like that. Like, you can have all the elements segregated wisely instead of putting all of them into one icebreaker speech. There are 2 advantages of this. First of all, in the 4 to 6 minutes, you are giving effectively what the audience wants to hear. You're not cramping them with information. Sometimes people don't remember after a few days what you spoke in the icebreaker. Second thing is, you also have the variety to give 6 different icebreakers in 6 different fashion. I would say, why icebreaker only in Toastmasters? Supposing you are giving your introduction the 100th time, then also you should be able to add something new. But the newness will come only if there is a little reflection about our own self, and we do a little bit of journaling or keep ideas, because ideas we can forget. So if you journal, you'll keep in mind. And even if somebody is asking you to do your introduction the 100th time or the 200th time, you should be able to bring something new. The reason why we are not able to do is because we don't go back and do a little bit of reflection and realize that our life is so much full of enriched learnings, but we hardly notice it. We ignore it. Do you agree with me? But if you go back one day, if you take time and you go back and see how many interesting things have happened in your life, each icebreaker can be a masterpiece by itself. Typically, I am extremely fond of the icebreaker speech because this is the first speech you give. Technically, nobody will judge you so much. At the most, the evaluator will give you only one evaluation, that you can work on your voice modulation or body language. We don't want to give too many evaluations on the day one so that the speaker runs away from the club. It has happened, my dear friends. It has happened that people have got very critical and very clinical evaluation for icebreaker. For level 5, if you do, it's completely all right. For level 1, with the first speech, if somebody gives too much of evaluation, there have been people who have never come back to Toastmasters. And when we say Toastmasters is a very empowering and a supportive platform, like you see the banner it reads, it's an empowering platform and it's a supportive environment. Idea is to support the other person, right? But this is the trick which I learned by observing people. So in Toastmasters, nobody is going to teach you anything. You learn by watching others. So keep all your different elements in different segregated baskets. Now only start thinking, 6 icebreakers, how am I going to prepare? Technically, that's what I'm saying. We should not go in the linear way. At least 6 icebreaker speeches can be ready. I don't have to worry when one path is over, what is going to be my next icebreaker. If you have the bandwidth of time, and make time for this. So the first speech is the icebreaker speech. The second is the one which after the icebreaker, you have, again, you'll have to bear with me. Yeah, so once you finish the icebreaker speech, the next one is writing a speech with purpose. Again, for all the 6 parts, it is the same, writing a speech with purpose. And here also you have the main idea of the speech writing is, there is something in your life you have done with purpose and you're going to speak about it. That's what the level 1 project 2 means, which is you have done something purposeful in your life. Like once I heard a Toastmaster speaking about why she decided to keep pets. Okay, why did she decide to keep pets? Because they had got when she was a child, they got an injured pet, and that's how her love for animals built. So this is about very simple project. This is the purpose of this speech is writing a speech with purpose. You write a speech with a purpose that you believe in. Again, if you go to the evaluation, the sheets, there are some 15 sheets here. You'll have to go through each one of them patiently, understand what it is asking. And in your life, if you've taken any decision that has been purposeful, that has been very valuable to you, it has improved you, it has improved others. Like one of the very purposeful things I had done in my life is starting something on my own. And now my cousin is doing the same after 4 years. And she told me the other day, she called me and she told me, Shalini, you know what? You have been an inspiration for me to also start something on my own. So if you have done something purposeful, which is creating that value for others, this is the speech that you are dealing with. Okay. So then comes the next one. Again, this is the same level 1 project 2 for all the 6 parts. So 6 different purposes of your life that you have done. You can think about your ideas, jot down the ideas now. I'm not saying sit and write all the speeches, but you can at least jot down the ideas of what you want to speak in speech with purpose. Third one is introduction to vocal variety and body language. Now here, what happens is when you're talking about introduction to vocal variety and body language, the evaluation resource says it is either introduction to vocal variety or body language, or it is introduction to vocal variety and body language. In my opinion, giving attention to both vocal variety and body language in a speech is a difficult task. I don't know how many of you find it difficult, but I find it difficult. Like you have to focus on the vocal variety as well as you have to focus on the body language. So body language means when you're delivering the speech, you're supposed to use the entire stage. Okay, you need to start the speech at one particular point, then how you go with the flow of the speech, you come to the middle section, then how you end the speech. And with that, the voice also has to keep changing depending on how the speech you have created, which is the high and the low of the tone of the speech. So just a minute. Yeah. So when you talk about vocal variety and body language, in my opinion, if the evaluation resource says that it is vocal variety or body language, I am saying from experience, but the choice is yours. Focus on any one. You can tell the evaluator that, see, I am going to today focus on body language. So in my speech, don't rate me on vocal variety, rate me on body language, which includes my hand gestures, my eye movements, how I look at the audience, eye contact, expressions, and the stage utilization. Supposing you want the evaluator to only look at the vocal variety, then you can tell the evaluator, see, today I request you to assess me on my vocal variety only. You can look at my tone, my pitch, my intonation, which is the rising and falling of tone, my expressions through my voice. So you focus on my vocal variety today. Don't look at my body language. I find it difficult, but if you find it easy, you can do both. Because sometimes the evaluators are also confused which one to give more marks to. So go one by one. Actually, if you want, you can also do this level 1 project 3 2 times. Up to you, completely up to you. Because Toastmasters is a very personal journey for everyone. Some people may think, why do I have to do the same level 1 project 3 2 times? Okay. But people like me think that, okay, in one project, I can focus on vocal variety. In one project, I can focus on body language. It's up to you. Ideally, there is no such rule that is recommended or not recommended. It's entirely up to the speaker. Because again, when you go for the contests, you are not getting 2 options to show vocal variety and body language. You have to do everything into one. But by that time, you become more experienced. Choice is absolutely yours. If you are a very new speaker who wants to really get good at every speech that you are giving, irrespective of the ribbons, then you can bifurcate this into 2 and do the L1 P3 in 2 forms. First time you focus on the vocal variety, second time you focus on the body language. can be done like that. There are many Toastmasters who say that, okay, I can file this project, but I want to do the speech again. The same speech I want to do in vocal variety. The reason, because they want to just keep improving. They want to become better at each single element that they want to do. But it absolutely depends on your bandwidth of time and your interest to learn. Okay. Otherwise, the best way is you do one speech and you can tell the evaluator, you can mark me on both. So this is about vocal variety and body language. The fourth one, if you go to, then you have this evaluation. That is, you have to give the evaluation of a speech. Like you have to evaluate someone. Introduction to vocal variety and evaluation and feedback, which is, it has got two parts, I think. Am I right, Abhijit? That the fourth project has got two parts, evaluation and feedback. So one speech you
Yes.
give, yes, Abhijit?
Yes, you are right. It has two parts.
Yeah. Evaluation and feedback. So there are two speeches in this. First speech you deliver and the evaluator gives you an evaluation about that speech. You incorporate the evaluation of the evaluator in the next speech. So you'll have to prepare this speech in two sequels. You give the speech, take the evaluation from the evaluator, whatever points of evaluation the evaluator has given, you incorporate that in the next speech. And then it comes as your level 1 completion. Right? So this is how you do level 1. Technically, if you are in your first path, very first path, I would request you all to go follow each of the levels in the same order. But once you do one full path, you will have a lot of experience of how to go about the next path and the next path and all of that. And then you can do, supposing you are doing one speech from level 1, then you're doing 2 speeches from level 2, and then you're doing the third speech from level 4. It doesn't matter. You can do it in any order. But if you do 3 levels, you get the triple crown. Now, these 3 levels can be in any order. There is no such rule that you have to do level 1, 2, 3, then only you will get the triple crown. Triple crown is completion of 3 levels. If you are doing level 3, 4, and 5, or if you're doing level 2, 4, and 5, any of that is doable. You can complete 3 levels and you can claim for the triple crown. Usually what happens is the triple crown pin is sent through the area director and you receive it. Or if you're completing the levels, the third level towards the end of the program year in Toastmasters, then they give it at the district conference or the division conference, whatever happens. So the program year for one Toastmasters year is July 1st to June 30th. Okay. So let's go to level 2. In level 2, under this, you have learning your style. So basically, level 1 is all about your fundamentals, understanding your icebreaker, writing a speech with a purpose, vocal variety and body language. And just to get a slight glimpse of how an evaluator will give you evaluation and you can work on the sequel of the speech. The level 2 is about learning your style. What is your style as a speaker? So the first one is understanding your communication style. So if you go to this, again, under the communication style, you will have a lot of things. You'll have what kind of communicator you are. Okay, so in this you have the 15 web pages. I don't know for what reason it is taking so much time, but it is taking a lot of time. Okay, so you have the understanding of communication style, under which you again have the project checklist, you have the evaluation resource. So you'll have to go through these 10 pages, and these 10 pages will explain to you what is, after you read and understand, watch the videos. There are some questions also. Once you fill all of that, you'll be able to understand what is the project you want to do, what is the speech. It could be your communication in your professional life. It could be your communication in your personal life. Basically, understanding your communication style. What is your style of communication? Then after this, once you finish the communication, the next one you have is understanding your leadership style, I think. Just a minute. Yes. You have active listening. In my case, it shows active listening. It could be different for you. But usually level 1, level 2, and level 3 projects are all the same in most of the paths. It starts changing only from level 4 onwards. From level 3, the mid of level 3, it starts changing when you get the electives. So here you have active listening. Again, if you look at the project active listening, it is you doing a speech about when you have been an active listener and how that has helped you. So again, you go through the entire project guidelines, and once you read the entire project guidelines is when you will understand how to develop the speech for that. And the third one in this is Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring, this one. So this is something which talks about how mentoring in Toastmasters has helped you. One second. How mentoring in Toastmasters has helped you. So here, what I have seen, the best speeches, some of the best speeches that I have seen are people do a combination of your real life mentor. It could be your parents, it could be your sibling, it could be your father. Like I have heard many Toastmasters speaking about their father as their role model. Okay. Then you also connect with how introduction to mentoring in Toastmasters has helped you, because Toastmaster mentoring is very different from your real life mentor. So you actually kind of give a very good balanced approach towards your mentors from your real life and mentors from your Toastmasters life. So that is how the mentor has brought in a change in you, and this is a very good project to do. Now the beautiful thing comes in. When you finish level 2, you become eligible to participate in the international speech contest, which starts from the club level. The moment you have completed level 2, you are qualified to participate in the international speech contest that comes in the club level. Just to tell a little bit about the contest, I know many of you know, but still I'm reiterating. So when it comes to table topics contest or evaluation contest, the highest, the maximum you can reach is the district. Starts with the club, then the club winner goes to area, the area contest winner goes to the division contest, the division contest winner represents the district. And then that is the end of the table topics contest. Evaluation, it is the same thing. The club level contestant represents the area, the winner. The area winner represents the division winner represents the district. Humorous speech contest, same logic. The club level winner goes to area goes to division goes to district. Now for these three contests, which is humorous speech contest, table topics and evaluation, there is no eligibility criteria. That means to say that if I join as a Toastmaster, paid Toastmaster today, and supposing the next week is the contest, I can participate. There is no eligibility criteria for participating in these three contests. However, for the benefit of the people, what we recommend is try and do 2-3 table topics, at least 2 to 3, and try and do 1 or 2 evaluations so that you get a hang of the topic, you get a hang of the style, and then you can participate. So for these 3 contests, there are no criteria from the speech rule book. Whereas for international speech contest, which doesn't stop at the district, because after club, area, division, and district, then comes your regional finals. Your speech, the district winner speech is sent to the region, the voting judges across the regions. Under one region, you may have 2-3 districts. Then it goes to semi-final 1. Then it goes to semi-final 2. There are 2 semi-finals. And then finally, you go to the World Championship stage. So there are 8 levels to qualify in the ISC. So here, once you have completed level 2, you are eligible to participate in the ISC. Any idea why it is level 2 that you are eligible to participate? Any guesses? Anybody? Why the eligibility criteria is level 2?
Maybe we are covering up almost all our fundamentals and all styles.
Exactly. Very good, Shalini. Because you are covering all the necessary things that is required for any contestant to be prepared for an ISC club contest. You're covering your communication style, you're covering your Toastmasters mentoring, you're covering your learning style, you have done your icebreaker speech, you've done vocal variety body language. Remember, that one is very important. You are also doing writing a speech with a purpose. So in an ISC, you have to give a message in the end. So the level 1 and level 2, the 8 speeches, the 7 speeches actually help you to get prepared for the ISC contest. Whereas in a humorous speech contest, if you're naturally humorous, or even so if you're not humorous, anybody can try. Because a humorous speech doesn't have to have a message. It has to be humor. So is the case with table topic, which is impromptu speaking and evaluation. But ISC, Since you have covered all the basic fundamentals, you are prepared to go and help yourself on the contest stage. Now comes the interesting part, which is the level 3. So level 3 has got one main speech. In my case, it shows understanding emotional intelligence because my path is motivational strategies. Yours could be something else. But let's go to the electives. So here it talks about one main speech and you're supposed to do 2 electives. Okay, so total you have to do 3 speeches. So electives 1 of 1, there are 2 electives that you're supposed to do in level 3. Now here if you look at the electives, the range is about 4 plus 4 plus 12, 14 electives I have got. It says deliver social speeches, which means I did give a speech for a social cause or something. Using presentation software, which means I give a 5 to 7 minute speech on usage of any software. Connect with storytelling. I give a speech for 5 to 7 minutes and I present a story to the audience. Creating effective visual aids. This I have tried in BTM, like where you are supposed to present a speech using all the visual aids. Using descriptive language, which means making your speech very flowery, using a lot of adjectives, phrases, idioms. Connect with your audience. You can have a very inspiring speech, which will help you connect with the audience. Make connections through networking. If you have done a lot of networking, you can use that in your speech. You can use that particular activity that you did to prepare your speech. Focus on the positive, again, an inspiring speech. Then you have inspire your audience, prepare for an interview. Prepare for an interview, you can have 3 people. You as the main speaker and 2 more who could be the interviewees, as if you are interviewing them. Or you could have a senior member and ask that person, sir, you interview me and I will give you answers. So you have to divide the speech. The first 3 to 4 minutes is the interview that goes on. The next 3 minutes is what you learned from that interview and basically what helped you to crack that interview. So it can be done that way also. Understanding vocal variety. Now, if you have done this in level 1, project 3, don't take this elective. You can take up some other elective because the necessity is only 2. You're supposed to do 2 electives. Then you have effective body language, same thing. They've just bifurcated into 2. And then you have know your sense of humor, researching and presenting. This last one I recommend personally everyone should do as an elective because research is my personal favorite. I remember the first path which I completed, my research and presentation speech was about Madhubani art in Bihar. And that time my mentor said, this is one of your very good speeches. So I had nice PPT slides and I actually presented the speech using slides. I had a Madhubani sari that I had taken and a Madhubani scarf and that's what I showed to the people. See, this is what it is at the end of the speech. So any of these speeches, you can use props, people. Okay, you can use props, you can use the furniture, the pieces of furniture that is available in your Toastmasters room, wherever you conduct your meeting, you can make use of these things. Now, the recommended electives are only 2. But what I did was for one of the parts, the first one, I tried doing all the electives. Just for the heck of it, let me see what happens to try all the electives. So again, this is purely a choice. Recommended is only 2. But if you have the bandwidth of time, I would say try everything because here it says only minimum 2 projects required. But if you do all, you become a better speaker. I mean, I'm just helping you to use the platform very, very judiciously so that with every speech you grow. So this is about level 3, where you have one main project and you have 2 additional electives. The electives are very, very interesting actually. Basically, if you look at the electives, they give you a wide scope and a wide range of things that you can do. Then when you go to level 4, again, you have building skills. Okay, so level 1 was the basics. Level 2 is understanding your own style. Level 3 is mastering over certain elements. Level 4 comes to building your skills. So motivate others. Again, my path is motivational strategy. So it is saying motivate others is the main speech. If you go to the electives, again in the electives, I think there are some 8 electives in this. But I have to do only 1. So minimum requirement is only 1, it says. 1 elective only I have to do. But the electives are very interesting. Create a podcast. So supposing you have your own YouTube channel and your own podcast, you can give a very good speech on how and why and what was your inspiration to start your own podcast. Or if you have heard any podcasts and from there you have learned, You can give a speech saying that I'm going to create a podcast soon, next month, and this is the speech about that. There is no such thing that you have to have a podcast. I mean, the elective says that yes, if you have done a podcast, present it. But if you have learned from some podcast and you're going to start on your own, that also you can do. But again, this is a choice. Building a social media presence, people who are very good with PR skills. Okay. In fact, the VPPR, when I finished my VPPR term, I gave a 5 to 7 minute speech on this in another club. What did I do as a VPPR? Or if you are into designing in your own professional spaces, if you're into designing, if you're into making, creating advertisements, or you're completely into design and the tools that you use, you can talk about social media presence. How is your social media? If you have many followers, how did you achieve that? That could be a 5 to 7 minute speech. Managing a difficult audience. Yes, I have done this in BTM. This is a very interesting project where actually people should, like when you're giving a speech, people should disturb you. See, this, I think somewhere I feel this part, no, people should remove the Toastmasters International should think and remove this, because tell me honestly, in your own professional setting, nobody disturbs you when you're speaking, right? People are not disturbing you when you're speaking. But this project encourages some people in the Toastmasters room to disturb you when you are speaking. And that is the whole project. How you manage a difficult audience. The difficulty could be they making some noise, they chit-chatting, they are cross-talking, or they drop something which makes a loud noise. So how do you manage this difficult audience, still continue with the flow of the speech, is the project. But technically, somehow I don't believe in this, and this is my personal opinion, because when you are giving a speech for contests, right? Nobody can disturb you. We don't even allow people to go out of the room and come inside if it is not that 1 minute silence. Even that can disturb the speaker, right? And even in your professional setup, when you are giving presentations and all, nobody is disturbing you. So this is kind of contrary to what happens in the real life scenario, but it definitely builds a skill. Like at home, all of you must be in the same platform as I am. Whenever you talk, all the other family members only get ideas to talk at that time. They become the difficult audience. Basically, this project teaches you how to handle difficult audience when they keep disturbing you when you are speaking. And that is what this project is about. I remember when I gave it in BTM, everybody made sure that they made all the possible noises and I give the speech, but it was fun actually. Writing a compelling blog. So if you are the type who likes to write blogs, okay, and you've written blogs, yes, you can give a 5 to 7 minute speech about what are all the topics that you have covered in blog. I remember a friend of mine, she runs this blog called Sanity Daily, and it once got an award from the minister, one of the ministers, that one of the best mental health blog, top 10 mental health blogs. So if you are into blog writing, you can give a speech about that. Manage online meetings. This applies to all of us. Okay, so when we manage online meetings, currently we are having a session, which is also no less than a meeting. You can give a speech about this, either as a person who is speaking in the meeting, or as a person who's managing the meeting, the technical glitches, all of that, you can give a 5 to 7 minute speech. Question and answer session. This I recommend everyone to do, because after the speech, so technically you prepare a 5 minute speech only. The last 2 minutes you should keep for audience to ask you questions which you answer. Then it covers the entire 7 minutes bracket. So this is a very, very good thing, because sometimes, there is a very beautiful saying in English that the memory and the mind power doesn't become sharp by giving answers. It becomes sharp when we ask the right questions. So this is a very good elective for a practice. Public relations strategies. Yes, VPPRs, you are the best ones to write the speeches about this. Otherwise also, if you are promoting about your club to club meetings to other clubs, whatever strategies you have used, you can deliver a 5 to 7 minute speech. Manage projects successfully. This applies to all ExCom members, whether they are in Toastmasters or all professionals outside Toastmasters. If you have successfully managed meetings, managed projects as the ExCom member or otherwise, you can develop a very good 5 to 7 minute speech on that. So that is basically level 4 is a very good level, because talks about these are all the skills that you build. How do you manage an online audience? How do you manage technical glitches? How do you manage projects? Okay. How do you do the PR strategies? These are skills. PR is a skill that one learns. So that is about level 4. The last is level 5, which is once you have learned those skills, you demonstrate those areas of expertise. And in my case, the first project is team building. But again, going back to the electives, if you look at the electives, you have something like, I have, I think, 4 or 5 electives in this. Now comes the interesting part. There are 6 electives. Lessons learned, moderate a panel discussion. Now, this I have already done. So what I will do, I will wait for all the speeches to get over. When this one comes, I will put a tick, because moderating a panel discussion for 40 minutes already happened in BTM. Then you have something called as ethical leadership, high performance leadership, and you have leading in your volunteer organization, prepare to speak professionally. How do you go about each of this? Lessons learned is the most simple thing. What have you learned as lessons from the 5 levels is what you're going to present a 5 to 7 minute speech in this. What are the lessons you have learned from each of the levels? That is what lessons learned means. Panel discussion, yes, if you have moderated a panel discussion, you have to just go with it, and you just have to put a tick to that. Because I've already done that, I can do this. Ethical leadership is about a speech where you have used ethics and values in your leadership journey. So you can take up any situation from your work life where you have worked on ethical leadership, you followed ethics. That can be a 5 to 7 minute speech. High performance leadership, earlier this used to be a 6-month project. I think now they have put it in electives. Is where you have performed very well in your team. You have performed on a very high level where the results are exceedingly amazing. Yes, you can prepare a 5 to 7 minute speech and present on that. Leading in your volunteer organization. This is very interesting. All of us are part of some organizations, some voluntary organizations. If you're part of Lions or Rotary or some small community, even in your apartment, if you are part of a voluntary organization and you have done some great projects, it could be the Children's Day project, or it could be the Karnataka Rajyotsava project. Whatever you have done, you can give a 5 to 7 minute speech. Prepare to speak professionally. This project is actually about how to become a professional speaker. So if you have given speeches at your workplace, if you have done, say, MC roles in your apartment, if you have been called as a guest speaker, if you have been called as a story narrator at different places, these are the elements you club together and you can present a speech on how to speak professionally. So each of these have the project guidelines which you have to go through, and you are supposed to prepare accordingly. Now, after this, what happens is you go to the level 5 completion and you mark your project as complete. The only thing here is, supposing you pick up a project from level 1, and then the next thing that comes your way, somebody comes and offers you and he says, hey, can you do this professional speaking? I want to call you as a guest speaker in my company for about 20 minutes, keynote speaking. You go there, you finish it, and you come and mark in level 5. But you can't do the submission till all the previous levels are complete. This is the change that has happened in Pathways. Like, you cannot mark another level before completing one level. Earlier, this system was not there. For example, if I'm doing level 1 and suddenly I get back-to-back projects to do level 3, I can complete the level 3 fully. Level 1 can still look to me as pending, but level 3 I could complete. Now that you cannot do. You can do multiple projects at the same time, multiple speeches at the same time, but you can only mark the level complete only when that level is complete. For example, if I have done level 1, project 1, level 1, project 2, and level 1, project 3, but level 1, project 4 I have not done, but level 3 I have done 1 main and 2 electives, I can complete level 3 only when the previous levels are complete. That is how now become the pattern. But having said that, once you finish 2 levels, you can start preparing for the ISC. Once you finish a path from district 92, they give you the path breaker pin. You get a pin also. 121 doesn't give, they give for only Triple Crown. But when you finish 2 paths like this, any 2 paths, what happens is you are now open to the DTM project. Okay, so the DTM project has certain different criteria. One is you complete 2 paths. The second is you become the club coach or the club mentor. The third is you have to do speechcraft. I think this I will sit with Abhijit, and see how we can do a speechcraft this time in Paytm. What is technically speechcraft? Speechcraft is 8 sessions that you do for a college or any organization. You give them a glimpse of Toastmasters, and then you encourage them to become part of Toastmasters. So Speechcraft is a different project which is there in Toastmasters International. And what the cost that we are, supposing we approach a company and the company says, we give you 25 employees, okay, you can do Speechcraft with them. So 8 sessions we do, 8 different demo meetings of Toastmasters, not full-fledged, but demo meetings. Like there are prepared speeches, table topics, and evaluation. We do this week on week. But yes, as we bring creativity in our club meetings, we can make it very creative there also. And then once the Speechcraft is done on the Toastmasters International platform, there is a column where we can go and fill all those criteria, and we get the credit for completing a Speechcraft. That is one of the tick boxes for DTM. And apart from this, 1 year of serving the district. So technically, once anybody finishes the term of being the president of the club, that person, the next level for the president is to go to becoming an area director. And that is, you will have 4 or 5 clubs to manage. Then comes division director, then district officer. So once you finish the area director's role, and you have completed 2 parts, and you have done the Speechcraft, then you have also been a club mentor or a club coach. Once you fulfill these criteria, then you can file for the DTM project award. You do the DTM project. So many people have done different DTM projects. I know one person who's done a DTM project, which was on the you have these marathons, right? So there was a marathon happening at HSR for a social cause. So his DTM project was that. If you are, I'm planning to do one in my society. I'm going to start one club for the ladies in my apartment. Very soon we are thinking of starting a Toastmasters club for the ladies in my apartment. That could be a DT, or just a general club, a club where people just come and speak, to meet and speak. That could be a DTM project, because the DTM projects are the projects which you can file for your DTM badge, which is the highest honor in Toastmasters. Last but not the least, once you complete 2 parts, you can also have this. There is a module which says Pathways Mentor Award. I can share that also. As you can see here, there is something which is okay. Now it is taking more time to go back to the previous scenarios. In the first page, there was something called as a Pathways Mentor Award. So Pathways Mentor Program. So if you also go to the Pathways Mentor Program, you will be able to see that you complete 2 paths and you do the mentor program and you get the certificate. All this will help you, because what is happening in District 92 now is those who have completed the Pathways program, there is a module for that also. They are getting some award for completing that. And DTM being the highest honor in Toastmasters, yes, many Toastmasters think of completing their 2 paths and all this criteria and apply for DTM. So this is about how you can go about each of the paths in a very interesting way. To me, taking any speech project is only not about writing the speech. It's about living that speech also and trying to see that what is the value I can add to the audience. So that has been my time. You have any questions? Another 5 minutes, we can answer those questions.
Suppose I didn't take the role like GE or TMOD. Suppose now level 2 I will complete, then again level 3. Then level 4 is like means one path without other roles, only speeches. Can I eligible to complete, or means I need to take all the roles also? Like other roles without
Got
speech.
it.
Yes.
Got it. So this is a very good question. And now things have changed in Toastmasters. Now what Toastmasters International is encouraging is, it is important to take roles as well. Basically, what has happened is everybody is only interested in completing their respective speeches. But now the TMI encourages that each of us take the roles. Actually, on the Toastmasters portal, it is not shown anywhere. Like, for example, if nobody takes a role, nobody is going to know in Toastmasters International that from BTM, nobody has taken a role. People cannot make that out. But we have to have integrity, as one of the core values is also integrity. There are 4 core values: respect, integrity, service, and excellence. Out of integrity, we should make sure that people also take up roles, because only speech giving is not a part of Toastmasters. Role taking is extremely crucial and important, and that is why we should take that. But having said that, I'm telling you, very soon the TMI will change. They will also make the role taking a mandatory affair. Just like how you have the speech criteria as a mandatory affair, no? Like you have to tick the boxes that you have completed the speeches. Like that, my belief is that looking at how Toastmasters is changing so much, transforming so much, they will also make that compulsory, because there is no proof or account that somebody has taken a role or not taken a role. See, I may be doing the GE role very sincerely for 4 months. You may be doing the grammarians role for 6 months very sincerely. But there are many Toastmasters who don't take up the roles. They say, don't give me any role. Okay, I will just come and give speeches and go. So then Toastmasters International now recommends that the VP educations of the different clubs should keep a track of how these roles are taken by people, and probably give some certificate or some, a small award or something to the people who are eager to take up roles and who add value to the club. So the TMI is recommending that role taking is very important. Just don't take up roles, timer, counter, grammarian, all of that. Because how will you have a meeting if there are no role takers, right? So role taking is equally important as giving speeches. But they have not made it mandatory that you have to file it somewhere or give a proof that you have taken the timer's role or something like that. But going by at the speed at which Toastmasters is changing, my guess is even that will come soon.
Okay, got it.
So better to take roles. We need to have a balance of both. See, if a person is only giving speeches and not taking any other roles, not helping that person, right? Or if you're only taking roles and not taking speeches, that is also not helping. So it has to be a balance. In a month, 4 meetings, 2 meetings give speeches, 2 meetings take up roles.
Just to add, I've seen the website, they have added this UI. If you look, Shalini, you can just open the screenshot which I sent you.
Okay.
There is a checkbox which actually needs to be checked if you have done that particular role.
Okay. It has got added.
Yeah, the website they have updated.
Yeah. So if you have done that, that's what I was just saying. That knowing Toastmasters, maybe this is a very recent and latest update. Thank you, Abhijit, for saying that. Because 2 weeks back when I read it, it said that you are supposed to take up roles. Now they have added that checkbox. That's what I was exactly saying. That you have to put a tick box on where you can go and fill the role. Abhijit, what I will do is I'll stop sharing the screen. Can you show it through your this thing? Because you have the host rights. If you can show where it.
Yeah, so you can see here level 1 checklist completion, and it has all of these role takers checkboxes. I mean, if you have done this table topic, speaker role, or if you have completed an R counter role, then all of these things you have to check and you need to add that particular task. So that will be part of your completion
Yes.
along with the level. Every single level will have certain roles which you have to take. Level 1 has also certain roles. Level 2 has even more. I mean, even Toastmaster of the day is something which you have to take up. And level 3, in addition to roles, you also need to have some sort of a club series presentation.
Okay. What is that?
Some presentations which you need to do, like creating best club climate. So how would you go about doing that? So you need to do a presentation. It would be like 15-minute presentation. It's not like 5 to 7 minute. So it's
Can you go to that and show us? Yes.
level 3, which is going to come, right? Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, here they have said,
Successful club.
learn how to build a friendly, supportive club that helps members grow. I mean, you need to give a presentation on these things, like how
Yes.
to perform meeting roles and responsibilities. Any one of them. This is just select one presentation from the list below that aligns with your goals. So for level 3, it is successful club series, and for level 4, there is instead of me going there and it will waste more time because website is quite slow. So I would just say for level 4, it is more on how to be a better speaker. So some of the examples will be like how do you focus on beginning your speech, or how would you effectively conclude your speech? And similar, there are 8 to 9 such topics within it, and you need to just do a
Yes,
presentation on one of them.
true.
And level 5 is more on leadership excellence series. So some of them can be like service and leadership, or leadership as a coach, or developing a mission. So giving a presentation on these, one of them you have to give in addition to your regular speeches, which are part of your projects.
So basically, what TMI is saying is don't only look at speeches, look at the holistic picture of Toastmasters, that is role taking as well. Yes, very true. So again, I would go back to the thing. Each one of us as Toastmasters have to go through each and every page carefully. Answering your question, Toastmaster Manjushri, in one of the clubs I'm aware, VP tracks the roles taken by members in Excel. Yes, see, VP Ed is allowed to do anything creatively. We also had that system in BTM. How many is if every Toastmaster goes to that level 1, level 2 requirements and they themselves put, and at the end of the path they see that how many other things, other roles they have completed along with giving speeches, it gives a very holistic picture about you yourself having done a lot of work. That is self-explanatory, where you and I as Toastmasters, if we go and fill up the roles that are given, it gives us a very clear picture of, okay, I've done these things. Okay, automatically those check boxes are struck off as and when you finish, and that is the best that you can do for yourself, and you will have a track of what you have done and what you have not done. Like I said, they have mentioned this as an important thing, but very soon, knowing Toastmasters how dynamically it is changing, they'll also make it mandatory. Then people have no chance to escape that they want to do only speeches. Everybody has to take roles. Ideally, every club should be designed in such a way that role taking and speaking becomes like a balanced affair. It cannot be the same people giving speeches or the same people taking roles. It has to be a mix of both.
Newcomer, please help us. Like you have told, like there is 6 parts, so it is necessary to complete like that in the order, um, like
No,
presentation, mastery,
there is
engaging
no
client.
order for that.
Okay,
There is no order.
so we
See,
can choose anything which is interested to us.
you can choose anything that is interesting to you. You can choose something which relates with your current work,
Okay,
your professional work, because we always say that first use Toastmasters for your professional benefit.
okay,
How you're going to be benefited in your profession, directly in your profession. So you can
okay,
choose, say, if persuasive influence is the path that is going to help you. Okay,
okay.
take that. Or if dynamic leadership, or in a leadership role in your organization, you have to manage many people. Take dynamic leadership.
Okay,
If
so we
you
can
have
take
nothing to
anything.
do, if
Okay,
you are the person who is not involved in any of the 6 parts in any way, then
okay,
the good one to pick is presentation mastery.
okay. Okay, so it is depending upon only the interest and not in like it is not like level wise,
No,
like
no,
only after this one, this
no,
part,
nothing
that,
like that.
nothing like that.
You can choose any path.
Okay,
Okay,
fine.
you can choose any path. What I meant is, in a path, you have 5 levels.
Okay,
That order also, you can, supposing, like I said, now I got to do the panel discussion. So
okay,
if you had seen my screen in level, in that path motivation strategies, I have done level 1, level 2, level 3, and then I have done one in level 5.
okay,
Because the opportunity came my way like that.
okay. So
But
you
I
have
cannot file it. I can put there as complete. Moderator panel discussion complete.
okay,
But I cannot submit it. Completion is different, submission is different.
okay,
If I can complete it, but I cannot submit till I have completed all the others.
okay,
Earlier, it was not like that. Independently, I could file one level.
okay,
But you cannot file a level now without completing the previous level.
okay,
Supposing you do 2 speeches in level 2 and you do 3 speech, all the 3 in level 4, you
okay,
cannot complete level 4 and submit.
okay,
Okay, you have to do the first, all the others, and then, but you can mark as complete and keep. When you
okay.
finish the others, you can submit.
You can submit. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. That we can. Thank you.
Independently, you cannot complete any level, because it will say previous one has to be submitted.
Okay,
Okay, but you can complete and mark it as complete and keep.
okay.
Submission is possible in the stage wise direction only.
Thank
Done,
Okay.
everyone?
you.
Okay,
I
thank
think
you
we
so
can
much.
conclude.
Yeah, we can close the session. Abhijit, any last words from you?
Thank you, Shalini. I think this was amazing. I think we covered all the areas, and I believe everyone has a great takeaway now. How to effectively execute these projects and also meet all the guidelines what we need to meet. And I hope, yeah, let's start giving speeches early and yeah,
Yeah. Thank
participate
you,
in
Abhijit.
contest and win. Yes.
Thank you so much.